Welcome back. This is Shur Voice, Adda Shur. Welcome you back to another quick session of some tips and ideas. And this is my continuation on how to improve those special high notes or sustaining a note that you need, and some of the things you can do to practice. Now, body mechanics is very important, so you do need to check how your posture is, and if your head, neck, and shoulders are really open and free, and the pelvis is able to release and go down, if your knees are free, because we're going to be adding that element to your singing. It's not just what's in your mouth, it's how every tone is coming from a different part of your spine. It's a different part of the mask and different part of the spine. So the spine and the alignment of the spine and especially the upper body as it's balanced on the center, which is in the pelvis and in the abdominal area, which has to be toned and engaged, not stiff and not pulling in and out either. All of these things have to be integrated. So we're dealing with a million things. And in the beginning, you have to think a lot. You have to think a lot about what you're doing. And some of my students, who are new and excellent students, very intellectual, very bright, they get a little frustrated because in the beginning, there are so many things that you have to be thinking about to do. Even if you're a gifted natural singer, there are many things for you to do and to integrate and to master if you want to be consistent and get consistent results. You're not going to get the results that you want unless you have very precise and specific practice guidelines that work with your whole body. And that's what I help you with. I'm not a pianist. I'm not going to sit there and play for you and teach you all the correct things all the time, what to sing. Of course I will do that, but I'm not going to be playing the piano for you and giving you your notes, every note. For that, you have to go to somebody else, right? But I also am, of course, I give students the songs and I help them learn it all the time. But I do much more than that. If you come to me, you're not coming for that. You're coming to have complete training, a complete understanding of your instrument so that you can be giving those consistent, reliable performances that you need if you want to maintain your career or have a hope of a career. I also work, however, with speakers who are interested in finding that balance and that consistency in their performing. Because when you speak a lot, like I am as a teacher, your voice gets tired, your body gets tired, your posture falls apart. So how do you work? How do you keep that flowing without fatiguing yourself in the practicing? So in singing, it's less is more, and less effort is better. You have to know what that effort is. Let's do some staccati. Staccato also very, very much help into getting a good sustaining. Now, if you're advanced, you know how to do a staccato. If you're just beginning, this is going to be hard for you, and it might be very stiff and rigid. So it's the same like if you're throwing really quick balls and having to hit. It's going to take more skill than just waiting, doing one long shot, right? Okay, let's do fi, fi, fo. So E, this is for the girls. That's already in the middle of the voice for the guys. And I'm not going to demonstrate down here. We're going to start here. Fi, 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 o. So pa, fi, 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 o. Say it. Fi, fi, feel. Good. Now before we go any further, stand up, stand behind your chair, hold your chair, and lean forward all the way. And now, how are you leaning forward? Are you leaning forward like this with your chin collapsed? Are you leaning forward like this? Your body collapsed? Whatever it is, let's say you're here, wherever you are, let's say you're collapsed. Just push up against that. Push up, push up, push up, push up, but still lean forward. Now, are your knees locked? Most of you, your knees are locked. Unlock your knees. And now push forward. Feel this part of you expanding a little bit. Feel your belly moving in. Automatically, it automatically does that. Fee, 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 oh, do that. Looking straight Just wherever your head is, fee, 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 and see what moves. You'll see there's a little bit of movement right below the belly button. It's very quick, efficient. Fee, fee, feel. Really focus on the foot, okay? Fee, fee, feel. Now, we're going to sustain that B natural. We're going to do that by opening the arms. Put your arms in front of you like this. They seem simplistic, but sadly, I've been finding that a lot of students, both young and old, aren't able to do this. Very, very slow little opening right in front of you. It looks like I'm opening my arms wide, but I'm really not. It's just right in front of your chest, and let your arms and your elbows be in one piece. Don't break your arms. Have your hands heavy. Shake them out. Ooh, just open them all the way. A lot of times when people are doing this first, they sort of, the hands just kind of don't know where they're going, and they kind of wobble all the way right in front of you. Like you're holding a ball and then you're just letting the ball go. Feel your shoulders and your back expanding. You feel it. You don't do it, you feel it. You're just sending the mind, oh, there's a little bit of an engagement in my back, okay? Okay, so a little bit of phlegm there. Now we move the arms to engage muscles in the back and the entire upper body that if I had to explain to you what to engage, it would be very difficult for you. Although I had one student once who said, oh, well, if you tell me what muscle to engage, I can engage it. That student sort of missed the idea, which is it's a global integration of multiple muscles, which if you start to try to control each one, you're going to be so busy in your mind controlling so many things that you really can't sing. So right now I'm giving you one simple thing to do, just to be aware as you sing of these three notes, of this gesture. Fee, fee, feel. So you're holding the note as long as your arms are moving. Now we'll change it, go up here. Let's go. Fo, fo, fo. And why don't you sit? Sit in your chair. Sit down. And put your feet parallel in front of you, okay? Put your arms right in front of you. And notice how you're sitting. Are you sitting this way? Come all the way a little forward. Okay, a little forward. Now a little bit further back. Rock them back and forth a little bit. Up and down with the shoulders. And back down. Good, now standing up. Fee, fee, fo. Try this with one foot a little bit in front of you. Okay, like you're standing at the counter at the grocery store, and you're sort of standing like this, and let your arms swing down and up. Fo, fo, fo. Now without this gesture, just fo, fo, fo. And see if this, whatever was awakened by these movements, is still sort of, you feel more alive. You're not doing it, you're just noticing. You're just noticing that it's easier. Fo, fo, fo. So if that's working, then you might be able to go to the F. So from F to F, and still have it held. Because your body is now warmed up, your spine is engaged. Remember, all the notes are engaged to the spine, and the pelvis is holding it all together. So if things here are starting to be in their harmonious, integrated fashion, which is how that's the default position for the body, instead of some kind of rigid idea. Okay, now I'm singing. Fo, fo, fo. Everything got locked up in me now because I'm trying to do something with my mouth. Fo. It's my same voice, right? It's the same voice you just heard, and my body mechanics was wrong, right? The same voice. Fo, fo, fo. Now let's do Let's see if I can do it this morning. Because yesterday I was so basic I couldn't sing at all. So I had to spend a couple hours today just doing my techniques to get myself back in shape, because I do a lot of teaching, I do a lot of talking. And it's fatiguing, and I'm not that young anymore. My voice is not as fresh and strong as it was when I was 30, 40, or 50. So try that. It's just F. F in the passaggio. Yeah, I know. It's a little tricky. But we're going to see if the passaggio is working there. Okay, guys, you can go here. It's easy to see. I'll sing it in my key. Now for the male voice, I demonstrate a little differently, and this is mainly geared for the ladies today. I should have clarified that. The same principles, however, are in for whatever you're doing, is that start to be aware of what is happening with the body. And these are specific things that I work with so that the body becomes more graceful. You're getting the upper body connected and balanced, and get down, sit down a lot as you practice. So the upper body, especially here, can open and pretend like you're pushing a little bit against an imaginary resistance. So if you do downward facing, dog in Hatha yoga, then you'll get that sense, right? As you do that, all kinds of muscles are engaged with you're not using any weights, you're just using your own arms to create an awake body. Isn't that cool? Frees your mind, and now you're able to hear the notes instead of making notes. We don't make any notes. We never make a note. We hear them. We make these movements of vowels and consonants. Mo, mi, and we connect it to here, because this is the lower part of the support. This is the breath is here. It's not in the belly. The belly is just add a little pedal there. And I'm not going to get into that right now too much, because you'll misunderstand and you'll do it wrong. Believe me, I've taught hundreds of people, and I see the body mechanics of today with all the tensions and all the habits that people bring in with modern culture. The stiff shoes, the backpacks, the cell phones. There's this chronic, even the people who are working out are coming in with very, very tight and very off-balance bodies. So in my work with even with the young people, I would say, 1 out of 50 has the natural coordination of the body functions, the posture is intact. But there's a lot of disturbance in that today, I find. And it's something that we have to work on when we're under stress. Our homeostasis and our breathing system, our posture, a lot of things get chucked out the window. It's just the way it is. So through my deep study and application of Hatha Yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, and Alexander, as well as, of course, the modern dance, my body remembers all these things. So if I just do a few things, everything comes back into place. I don't expect that from my students, but I like to give them a lot of that in addition to all the vowel and the vocal function that we have to do. So let's do now this coaching someone with the wizard and I, so it's on my mind. So the last part, let's just sing it in a bel canto way. The wizard and I. So for example, so it's not high. For an opera singer, that's not high. It's G, A, C, D, C. And of course, when you sing the wizard, if you're singing in that show, of course, you have to have a fantastic voice, but you are mic'd all the time. And when you have a microphone, you have a sound engineer, and the sound engineer can add a reverb while you sing and make it louder and make your voice sound more impressive. And all you have to do is just sustain the tone. It's almost like being in a recording studio. It's a different kind of singing. You still have to have the strength, you still have to have the vocal cords in shape. So when I'm working with the musical theater people, I'm working a slightly different way than with the opera people. When I'm working with the speakers, also a different way. You know, to be a very, very good speaker, you also have to bring so much authenticity of who you are when you speak. And those are one of the things that I love to deal with. That's why I talk about a holistic approach to what I do. And it has a spiritual component. It has a psychological component. And that's why it's holistic. Right? And I prefer to work with people who already have their basics down, already know quite a lot, but want to get to the next level. So let's do the wizard and. So first of all, you know what you're saying, the wizard and. As a singer, you have to know the vowels and the diction of it. So you would want to practice that very, very clearly. The wizard and it's wizard and wizard and the here has a D in front of it. The wizard and so the D is in between the zada. Now this of course comes from the bel canto, where we put the ending consonant onto the beginning vowel of the next word if the next word is a vowel sound. Yeah. So all of these are things we have to study and know, so we don't have to think about it anymore. All we're hearing and doing and all we're focusing on when we get to a certain level is hearing and sustaining. So this lesson is really more for the much more advanced students, hearing and sustaining. The wizard and so you're going to get a good stance to get there. The wizard and focus on your ribs staying out, not collapsing. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole lesson because I'm tired, but I just wanted to give you a chance to explore with me some of the ways that I work. And I hope this has inspired you to go deeper today and go more exploring the movements and the balance in just pretend you're sitting down for a minute. Inhale, exhale with a ha sound, and then move shoulders, release your arms and the hands. Make sure your hands are totally open. And when you try to learn to do these gestures of opening, rather than a lot of the gestures, I see a lot of this sort of singing. I love you, a lot of this contraction. You may not think you're doing it, but I see a lot of this, the hands in supplication, bowing before, the master. Don't sing like this, please. Have your hands above your waist. All the gestures should be above your waist, not down here. You can't see them down here, so the gestures are above. Also the same for the speakers. Gestures are above the waist. That's speaker lesson 101, singer lesson 101. Not down here, unless you're playing as kind of a very inhibited, shy, repressed person. Okay, but we don't want to have this as our way of singing. Or some other position. So these are things we have to look at if we want to be performing. Not only does it look better, but it makes we're literally singing better. The wizard and I'm done. I'm finished. How can I sing? Okay. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a wonderful day.